Hello, I am Ranos Dracuris, and today we will be doing our final entry of our History of the Dorum Empire series. I would like to thank you all for the support for this series. I hope you all enjoy. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Arcaseus II, born AF 494, ruled from AF 502 to AF 540. Unlike his older twin brothers Malleus and Severion, Arcaseus had a knack for leadership. In AF 515, Arcaseus was able to conquer the Imicarian freehold, which was formerly controlled by General Tarses. In AF 523, Arcaseus would conquer Kygonia, extending the empire's borders westwards. He would spend the rest of his reign in relative peace. He would later die from the Purple Death in AF 540. Arcaseus III, born AF 518, ruled from AF 540 to AF 580. During his reign, Uwasha would rebel in AF 545, forming the Holy Vudarf. Arcaseus III would form a peace treaty with Vudarf in order to maintain peace in the east. The two nations would later form an alliance in AF 560. Arcaseus III would die in AF 580 from natural causes, being the last emperor of the Augustinian dynasty. Arcaseus IV, born AF 543, ruled from AF 580 to AF 585. He would maintain the alliance with Vudarf. He would also form the Versan dynasty, which would last from AF 580 to AF 650. He would later die from the Purple Death in AF 585. Leon I, born AF 567, ruled from AF 585 to AF 612. He would maintain peace, and would later on establish the Imperial Navy in AF 602. He would later die in AF 612. Augustine IV, born AF 590, ruled from AF 612 to AF 622. After the fall of the West in AF 610, Augustine IV wanted to reform the Dorum Empire. In AF 622, he would invade the Southern Empire. However, he would be pushed out of Isuwihia, later dying from an injury he had received from the Battle of Narrator in AF 622. Augustine V, born AF 595, ruled from AF 622 to AF 650. Augustine V would continue the campaign against southern Dorum. Eventually he would aid the Anu rebels. Eventually Vudarf would conquer the Southern Empire. Augustine V would die in AF 650 without fathering an heir, making him the last emperor of the Versan dynasty. Leon II the Elder, born AF 604, ruled from AF 650 to AF 690. In AF 610, the Vudarf would collapse into multiple fragmented kingdoms. During the chaos, Leon II would extend the Eastern Empire's borders westward. Leon II would form the Lioni dynasty, which would last from AF 650 to AF 857. He would die of old age in AF 690. Augustine VI, born AF 665, ruled from AF 690 to AF 716. He would conquer southern Darosia in AF 694, and later on conquer western Irarukia in AF 710. However, a rebellion would happen in western Irarukia in AF 712, forming the Podran Kingdom, which would later be known as the HDE. Feeling heartbroken of his failures to revive the empire to its former glory, Augustine VI died in AF 716, heartbroken of his failures. Attrebus III, born AF 693, ruled from AF 716 to AF 740. He would spend his entire reign defeating rebellions and maintaining stability in the east. He would die from natural causes in AF 740. Regis I, born AF 717, ruled from AF 740 to AF 763. He would maintain the peace of the empire and later form an alliance with the Podran Kingdom and the Wumed Empire in AF 754. He would die in AF 763 from the Purple Death. Thelonius, born AF 737, ruled from AF 763 to AF 789. He would defeat the Uwashan rebellion in AF 770, later on fully conquering the Uwashan Peninsula in AF 774. He would die from natural causes in AF 789. Enorian, born AF 765, ruled from AF 789 to AF 820. He would conquer northern Irarukia in AF 805. However, he would be later killed by rebels in AF 820. Augustine VII, born AF 800, ruled from AF 820 to AF 850. He maintained stability throughout the empire, later dying in AF 852 without having any heir. His youngest brother Leon would take the throne. Leon III, born AF 816, ruled from AF 852 to AF 857. He would maintain peace, however he would be assassinated by the Arcaseus in AF 857, making him the last emperor of the Leonid dynasty. The Arcaseus would select the future Emperor Augustine VIII. Augustine VIII, born AF 826, ruled from AF 857 to AF 868. He would found the Cernoan dynasty, which would be the last dynasty of Dorum, which would last from AF 857 to AF 1132. Augustine VIII would defeat the Kai rebels in AF 862. He would later be given the Western lands by his allies the Wrathmanxs Empire in AF 863. He would die from natural causes in AF 868. Augustine IX, born AF 844, ruled from AF 868 to AF 930. He would spend his entire reign keeping the empire at peace. He would die from old age in AF 844. Augustine X, born AF 889, ruled from AF 930 to AF 998. He would conquer the western coast of Irurukea in AF 96. The rest of his reign would be peaceful. He would later die from old age in AF 998. Visla the Magnificent, born AF 978, ruled from AF 998 to AF 1099. Her reign was long and prosperous. She would become the longest reigning ruler of the Eastern Dorum Empire. Under her rule the city of Augustanium would become the most populous city in Terralore at 700 population in AF 1044. The population of the Eastern Dorum Empire would rise to 3,800 in AF 1078. By AF 1088 the Eastern Dorum Empire would regain its title as the strongest empire in Terralore. Visla would die peacefully from old age in AF 1099. Regis II, born AF 1080, ruled from AF 1099 to AF 1120. Regis II, the son of Empress Visla, Regis II was an incompetent ruler who would do away with many of the achievements his forebears had achieved. Under his rule he would be defeated by the Enorians, later giving them territory in AF 1108. He would ignorantly end the alliances with the Wrathmanxs Empire and the Podran Kingdom, sparking a massive war. He would be killed in the first invasion of Augustanium in AF 1120 by Wrathmanxs soldiers. Augustine XI the Last ruled from AF 1120 to AF 1132. Augustine XI would be the last emperor of Dorum. In AF 1130, he would broker an alliance with Enorians in order to defeat Wrathmanxs and Podran forces. He would spend the majority of his reign defeating Wrathmanxs forces from conquering Augustanium. However, one of his highest-ranking officers, General Vigils, would betray Dorum for more power in AF 1131. Vigils would tell the Wrathmanxs the weaknesses of Augustine's defenses, gradually weakening the Augustanium garrison. After 1 year of the siege, Augustine, battered and bruised, decided to go out fighting for the empire. He would sally out his soldiers one last time during the 6th siege of Augustanium. Charging at the Wrathmanxs forces, Augustine would die in the charge in AF 1132. After his death the morale of the Dorum army broke, causing Augustanium to be conquered by the Wrathmanxs and later renamed to Nahaina after their emperor. General Vigils would be promoted to governor of the eastern lands in the Wrathmanxs Empire in AF 1133, however, he would be killed by the loyal citizens of Augustine in AF 1135 during the Great Riots of Nahaina. With the fall of Augustanium marked the end of Dorum, making the Wrathmanxs Empire the dominant power in Terralore. Even though Dorum fell, its legacy would live centuries to come. From kings to emperors, peasants to nobles, Dorum will echo in the history of Terralore forever, not only as the most influential empire in Terralore, but also a dream that can be achieved by any civilizations willing to follow its footsteps. I sincerely hope you all enjoyed the series, and if you want any more series with lore, let me know. Anyways, goodbye my fellow scholars.